Hi, everyone. Happy Earth Day to everyone. It's been quite a chilling one here. I did see some snowflakes. I don't know about everyone else. Um, I apologize. I'm having some computer problems. I have ordered a new one. So hopefully tonight everything will go okay. I wanted to share with you some of the things I've been doing here. I'm not just doing nothing. Um, And Earth Day, I thought, was an appropriate time to share some of those with you. First, and I know that I've talked about my button projects and a few other things, and I'm kind of perfecting the magnets that I'm using with my button project, so that is coming. And hi, Colleen. How are you tonight? I have another prototype. Hey, Lisa, I have another prototype that I've been working on, and I'm almost ready, so I'll share it with you. These are, and it's always the opposite, so I'm always kind of confused how I'm holding these things up. But these are little Notion bags, like I said, a couple of different prototypes. And again, it's all out of my felted wool, so it's appropriate for Earth Day because this is natural fiber. It's fiber that maybe would have been composted or something else. And it's wool, which is, biodegradable. It's a good fiber. So inside, I've used some recycled fabric that I have at home, recycled denim from some blue jeans. No one is ever supposed to throw blue jeans out in my family. And in this, I want to carry the items that I like to have. And those of you that know me pretty well know that I don't have a lot of notions and trinkets that tchotchkes that I use when I knit, but there are a few things I do like. And when this is ready for sale, I'm going to have those items in there. But you always need a tape measure, and it's always good to remember your local yarn shop. It's always nice to have a U-clip. So there's one of those in here, or there will be. It's always nice to have a nail file when you don't want to snag your yarns on a jagged nail. And I have some new Cornwall Yarn Shop glass nail files, which I really like. Just don't drop them, but they last like forever. I have to thank my friend Toby for introducing me to glass nail files. Hello, Leslie. Let's see, there's something else in here if I can get it out. This is a new, I don't know if I shared this with you or not. This is a new stitch gauge. It's new for me anyway. And you can place it over your knitting, over your stockinette stitch. And if it falls just right, and you can tell, you can immediately read your gauge. It wasn't a very good definition, but maybe you get the idea. And each gauge is in black and white, so depending on your knit fabric color, one will show up better than the other. So there are a couple other notions that I probably will have in there. And so this was my first prototype. The second one has just some little felt pieces sewed on to hold a needle, and each kit will have a needle with a big eye but small enough to go through a button, to sew on a button, because I can never find mine when I want it, and I know they can be hard to come by. So these are my prototypes. they will be a little snazzier looking than this, but this is the idea. So that's coming. But I like the idea myself of using denim with the felt. I really like that, and I hope to have some other things along that line. Before I forget, there's a new Nomadic Knits, and I haven't really taken a good look through it. It's issue 9, and it's Iowa and Nebraska, which means there's a really nice article in here about brown sheep. And those of you that have used Nature's Spun, which I carry a couple, I carry the bulky and I carry the worsted and cotton fleece. They're the makers. And so it's a really nice article, and it's a family-owned operation. So good people. I have been doing mega amounts of felting, and for farms, specific orders. And I enjoy doing that a lot because it really is a value-added product for our farms. It's something that they either would make into dryer balls, or it would just sit as roving, or it would be composted. So the order I have right now that I'm just getting ready to ship some of this off is a bunch of insoles. They're cut. And then a lot of, can you see them? A lot of sheets of felt. And this is llama. And I still have another 11 pounds to do for that order, but I also have another order I have to get started on. So I'm going to ship this off, and I will do the rest of that later, and I'll start on my other order next. That's felting. Now I have something really exciting that I think is really exciting, and I'm sure it's nothing new. I'm sure it's kind of old school, but sometimes we're fed information that, what's the word I want to say? This is what happens when you get old. You can't think of the words. Like we've been really kind of taught that merino is the best fiber, and that's been marketing. And it was marketed by a certain group, not in the US, but a certain group. And merino is a wonderful fabric, but it's not good for every kind of garment, especially socks. You have to add a lot of nylon to make it strong enough to wear. And even then, merino just doesn't wear really well. And nylon is not good for the environment. It's a plastic, therefore it's sourced from crude oil. A lot of chemicals go into the manufacture of it, and it stays in our water supply. It's not doesn't decompose. So that's it. And I've always said, well, you need to have some nylon in your socks for strength, and you do, because we use mainly very soft yarns. Socks need to be durable, but socks also need to be, in our busy lives, we need to be able to throw them in the washing machine. So I was listening to a couple of, I was listening to one person who's an authority on different kinds of wool, and I meant to bring her book, Deb Robson, and she's done some videos for the Hudson Valley Textile Project. So if you go on hvtextileproject.org, you can see some of the videos that she has done for us, hosted for us on sheep, some of the sheep that's common in the Hudson Valley. But I was listening to her talk to a group of weavers, I think, weavers or another guild, and she was talking about down fleeces and that they are felt resistant. So I looked those up in a couple of other sources, and they said the same thing. So I'm thinking, well, those yarns are durable, and if they don't felt, what a great sock yarn they would be. So I talked to Mary Jean from the mill, and I said, you know, do you have any Suffolk or Dorset? And she had just made a Suffolk blend with a little bit of no, another word again. A rare breed, Clune Forest, but it's mostly Suffolk in a sport weight. So she got me some of that, skein of that, and I did some swatches. And I made some little swatches, and then I threw them in the washing machine, like with towels, with blue jeans, and I did dry them flat. And as you can see, or not, if I can hold this upright, and my computer is really kind of slow tonight. I can't do this. It's I have to move it in the opposite direction. Anyway, I've done this 3 times, and I've outlined it, and as you can see, there is like no shrinkage. So that's really exciting, and it's and I think it's because of the Clune Forest in it. I could be mistaken that it's really softened up. But this to me is really exciting. And I also have a couple other swatches that I did the same thing with. And I just washed, I think this one I washed in a lingerie bag, but it didn't really change. This one didn't change at all. And maybe all I did was when I took it out of the washing machine, I just went, did a little boom, boom, and then laid it flat to dry. So I'm really excited about that. And the next step in testing is my sister's getting a sample of the yarn, and she has a couple of old-fashioned crank knitting machines. So she's going to crank me out a pair of socks, and I'll put them through a few washes and see how much they change, if they change at all. And if they change, even superwash socks, their first wash the stitches will settle in, and you usually get a little shrinkage anyway. And if they would shrink a little bit of pull-link sock blockers would be great. And that would be no nylon. And if we get into some more botanical dyeing, which I'm not guaranteeing yet, but I don't know. I'm just really, really excited about that. And to have a more durable sock yarn. It's not rough. I would, but I know a lot of you probably would not wear it next to your skin, but I would. And also it's, again, we would be using yarn that we would be making yarn out of fleeces that generally do not go to the mill. So that to me is extremely exciting because, again, it's another source of income for our farmers. Okay, what else do I have to talk about? We are working on another sock yarn, which is not so environmentally friendly because it's going to have a little nylon in it. So I've kind of ended my Earth Day discussion, but soon we're going to be doing a sock yarn that's going to look a little heathery, some solid colors, and then Jai from come on, Leslie, I know you're there. Help me out with Jai's company. She's going to be doing some variegated colors, some splashy colors to go with the solid colors. So that's going to be really fun. And then I think we're going to have to get Mary Jean here and maybe, thank you, Leslie, Wobble Gobble. Jai is from Wobble Gobble Yarns. and her colors. Jai was here one Saturday, and her colors are really pretty. So she's up Albany area. So she's a Hudson Valley girl. So that's, I don't know, it's always exciting to me to keep that local fiber supply chain going. So I feel like even though I'm not in the shop, I am in the shop, but you guys are not in the shop. Things are going along, and I've been really, really busy. And I hope to see you outside as the weather gets warmer. I am going to have more yarn on sale. So the parking lot will be hopefully full of yarn. And when it gets really warmer, maybe there'll be some chairs out there. And then eventually I'll feel comfortable having people, a small number of people in. That's to be decided yet. But I'm really glad to talk to everybody tonight, and I'm a little bit more long-winded than usual. Sorry about that. It's getting close to dinner time. So everybody, thank you. I miss you all, and have a great evening. Good night.